Welcome back. The transformation of the world rise large number of AI robots which gradually eradicate the need for human services. Humans are gradually replaced by conscious synthetic robots which lessen the need for human service. AI robots destroying humanity. Meanwhile, a family's disintegration was intimately shown in Human's first season as its synth maid came to terms with her true identity. The episode's heavy focus on the broad ramifications of Niska's action causes it to lose sight of what makes humans special. We meet smarmy Silicon Valley hunk Milo Cowrie, who decides to reverse engineer a conscious synth in order to gain access to an untapped market. Dr. Athena Morrow, a brilliant but worn-out scientist with a charming name, a devoted but underfunded artificial intelligence researcher for assistance. Carrie Ann Moss is at a San Francisco science center. Niska finds herself in Berlin, where her activities are motivated by her passion with Astrid, a human. I feel terrible that Astrid dedicated her heart to a machine because she has no idea that Niska is a synth. Niska is the first to bear the burden of a life beyond binary, but it quickly spreads as a result of her conscious being's activities. The second series, which expands on the world introduced in the first, will be driven by the compelling ambition to become more human. Niska downloads Elster's awareness code after a protracted period of consideration and anxiously anticipates the dramatic outcomes. But one has to question how much, in the big picture, since being conscious actually matters. They already are everywhere and are involved in everything, putting people out of job or making them redundant. Mankind has advanced toward reliance and servitude. When science fiction is at its best, it tackles important issues like life after death, intelligence, free will, and the like while using inventive storytelling to shed light on what it means to be human. Here, it's fully functional. The Hawkins family's situation worsens when Joe is let go to make place for a synth in his position. I don't know about you guys, but workplace automation has had an effect on me that has caused many of my TV industry friends to lose their jobs. Thus it hurt me when Joe lost his regional manager position to a synth. It's awful, and his idea that more people ought to work jobs like his will probably find favor with some individuals. Although Joe and Laura are working to patch up their marriage, some things remain the same. It is difficult to understand why they stay together other than for the benefit of their children because they don't have any chemistry or intimacy. But one has to question how much, in the big picture, since being conscious actually matters. They already are everywhere and are involved in everything, putting people out of job or making them redundant. Mankind has advanced toward reliance and servitude. Due to the absence of their regular therapist, Joe and Laura are forced to consult a synth version. In fact, neither are jobs that call for emotional intelligence. A non-human counselor sounds like a joke, and Barbara begins to seem like a harsh caricature, till her session begins to produce results. The scene is arguably the most thrilling and terrifying of all the episode's quieter moments because it is so skillfully done, cleverly written, and softly delivered. The Hawkins are prompted to consider their own relationship and start talking to one another without the burden of embarrassment that a human counselor can unintentionally inflict. There might still be hope for them. Also have faith in us, the viewers. Given that synths serve as a visible reminder of what occurred to them, it is an uncomfortable situation, to say the least. I don't know why someone would want a synth therapist, either. Since you don't experience any emotions, how can you analyze those of others? Yet, Joe and Laura attempt to chuckle together at the absurdity of the situation at one point. In the entire episode, it's the only moment they seem to have a stable relationship. But once Joe starts giving his reasons for choosing to have sex with Mia, it's a cheating husband's greatest hits of justifications. He was a little inebriated and alone. Laura wasn't present either physically or emotionally. He tells her, "I wanted to do anything to make you notice me." He seems a little selfish and immature. She is aloof. They are stuck, and the synth therapist is doing little to help. I couldn't help but wonder how Mia came up with the idea during this scene. Humans have been oddly mute regarding her account of what happened, despite the fact that she has been the focus of the entire episode. There are two distinct threads at play here. On one side, the show is concerned with the ramifications of synths, both as they are and, possibly, as they might be in the future. The topic of the economic effects of the synths is a welcome addition and a crucial and essential development of the show's themes. The first series gave us the opportunity to get used to seeing them in domestic and service roles, so the brief appearance of them in mines, chemical plants, and, brilliantly, as marriage counselors, provides a tantalizing hint that this series will explore just how disruptive AI can be to the economy. Mia is coping with her own tense relationship. She is working at a seashore cafe in the UK while posing as a regular synth so that Leo and Max won't have to stoop to stealing. When speaking with her supervisor, Ed, who is already being set up as a love interest, she occasionally fails to conceal her emotions. Without being asked, she explains his financial condition and adds, "I wanted to help." How can she want anything when she's simply an android? Ed is intrigued by this. She can instantly switch to an explanation when he inquires as to what she means by that with the same upbeat placidity that typical synthesizers exhibit. She doesn't return to the same place just for the money, she returns to the cafe frequently. She enjoys being among others. Leo and Mia disagree on how they ought to conduct themselves. He goes to great lengths to locate and support newly conscious synths like Ten and Hester because he wants a revolution. But Mia insists that they must maintain a low profile, especially now that it is apparent that a certain agency is looking for newly conscious synthesizers. For a moment, let's discuss the recently conscious synths. Ten was intriguing to me. He is a Spanish-speaking synth from Bolivia who came to see Leo because of his endless curiosity. Ten hasn't chosen a name yet, but when they first connect, he rattles off a couple to Hester. The character exudes a sense of surprise and innocence. Also, the fact that Ten is Latina and a synthesizer immediately expands the story's creative potential. How will conscious synths handle the social constructs of race, gender, and sexuality that shape their lives? Yet instead of following that plot line, Ten is brutally shot in the head as Leo and Max work to prevent Hester from falling into the clutches of the corporation that is after her. These connections and the ongoing blending of the lines between humans and synths are directly related to the discussion of synth civil rights that will undoubtedly take place now that Niska has elected to stand trial for killing a man. She has surrendered to the Hawkins family, but she demands to be treated as a human being in court. And don't forget, Laura is a lawyer. She was formerly the biggest synth cynic, but she may soon turn out to be their largest supporter. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.